Good evening and welcome to Tea and Transformation for another look at our journey into the future and change and maintaining and growing ourselves, moving forward into a world that seems where we have to take up change and activism on a daily basis. So let's get right to our reading. This is Alex. This is Tea and Transformation, and we're going to jump right in. So the cards we're looking at tonight are a blessing card, and we're looking for a challenge card, and of course, our recommended action. How do we move forward? And in our blessing card tonight, we have the Two of Cups. It's a reversed card today. And the Two of Cups in an upright position is a card of balance and well-being. What it tells us when it's in a reversed position is that we're really seriously looking at kind of disharmony with ourselves, from our inner selves and our integrity and the community that we want to be active in and change. And that means sometimes confronting people in a way that seems angry and off-putting and putting us off balance. But the blessing in this card is that it points to that, so that we know what we need to do to move forward is to examine, how do we maintain that balance? How far do we go one way or the other way? And it's, we want to be an authentic person. We want to stand for inclusiveness, kindness, and understanding. And in the midst of that, we may have to take a stand for institutions we want to see preserved, for institutions that we want to see change so that they are more inclusive, and governments that maybe don't want to listen to us. And that's really our challenge in terms of a community. We are in a time of turmoil. This is a 1 year. We have seen radical change in the U.S. We're seeing radical change in Europe. And I caught a trace of a headline today. People were being arrested for protesting something to do with Russia. So it really is a wildfire that's circling the globe at the moment. And where do we stand in that as authentic people who want a world that is inclusive and that we all feel good about ourselves and we're moving forward as a people? So our blessing card is to remind us to examine that and find out where we stand on that. So it's the blessing is the push to find balance. Now the Ten of Rods is an upright card, and what's interesting about it is that it's a card that says that we are pushing against oppression and we are having limited success, which we have seen this past week. Just tonight, it looks like the federal government in Canada is going to introduce legislation in April that is going to legalize recreational marijuana, certainly a step forward, and I'm sure the tax revenue for that is going to be hopefully used in a way that assists our communities. And in the U.S., we saw a major flub for President Trump when his repeal and replace healthcare program was lost in the House. So he had to pull his bill. So the protests are making a difference. What it leads to us for in terms of our challenge is understanding that anger is healthy. It is okay to get angry with people who are, well, just to be blunt, stupid about things. And we know that. We try as authentic people to be inclusive, to be kind, to listen to everyone, to try and understand our opposition. But it doesn't mean we have to give up being angry about it. And I don't mean like shrieking, shrill, screaming, in your face, yelling kind of anger. I mean out there standing up, standing for what we feel for, and not being afraid to have other people who don't agree with us confront us about our beliefs and to stand up for that. We don't have to be wimps in order to see change in our world. And I really think that we're going to have to stop being wimps. And, they always say, why doesn't the left win? Well, the left doesn't win because we're too busy being inclusive and not giving any pushback. And I think that we really need to observe what's happening where people are pushing back against oppressive regimes. And here in Canada, where things are a little softer sometimes, we now have an NDP member of the House of Commons who's going across Canada to really start talking about electoral reform. A huge promise that won the the current prime minister many, many votes, and now he's reneging on that. Well, I'm not so sure I want to have another election where it's the first past the post and that's who wins the election. So there are plenty of battles left to do, and our challenge is to not be afraid to stand up for them. Don't be wimpy, and to move forward. Now, our third card, the recommended action, is the world reversed. Now, this card has come up again and again and again in our readings in the last couple of months, and that's because the world is a card of change. It does have a part of it that talks about being heavy and burdened. And we talked about it last time in the last weekly reading, when what we need to do is find allies so that we're not carrying the weight of the world all by ourselves on our shoulders. If you're feeling that way, it's because that's what you're feeling. It doesn't mean it's real, because what's happening out in the world can be other people looking for allies to work together on teams, because we're not going to do this as individuals. We're not going to change our communities because we operate as individuals. We're going to change our communities because what we're doing is working together as a team, envisioning the change that we want to see, being the change that we want to see, and getting out there and letting people know and spreading the word and finding more allies. So that's the kind of work that we need to do now, and that's certainly our recommended action. Let me just check my notes. And, yes, this is the other thing. So with this, we need to narrow down so that we're very strategic about what actions we're taking. And we need to have an agenda about what first, what next, and so on. And we need to find allies, because there's all kinds of people who will team up with you, and that's what we want to do. And it's not like there's just one target for everybody, but there's enough targets around that everybody can find one that they can get involved with. So we're looking at strategic action, at the same time that we're also looking for a much broader vision of the change that we want to see universally. So we have to again find balance. Now remember, it's a 1 year. We're in spring. It's all about change. It's all about new growth. And so don't lose heart. Don't be disheartened. I know protest fatigue is hard. We get tired of it. Find allies. Find people you can talk to. Get out from behind your keyboard. Get out there in real time. Meet with real people. Go have coffee with some folks. Don't be afraid to talk politics. We need to. We need to talk politics in order to change the world that we want into something that's going to work for all of us. So that's my reading tonight. And if you're watching this on Tea and Transformation, please like the page, like the video. It does help promote it so we get a wider audience. Still looking to work towards enough people that we can have a digital evening sitting around a dining room table and talking about what we need to talk about to keep moving forward, to keep growing as individuals, and at the same time being active in our communities, whatever that looks like. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like the video, and if you can subscribe, that would be even better, and you can click for notifications to know when I have a new video posted. So that's it. That's it for tonight. Keep your balance. Keep your eye on the prize. Remember, we're all moving forward to a much better world, and we can't do it alone. We got to do it together. Talk to you soon. See you next week. Bye.